Hey, what's up? It's Tati. Let's talk collision. One thing I've noticed these past 2 weeks is things have definitely feeling like a faster pace. I'm not too sure if it's just because of the pay-per-view that's going on, but now it's like, especially tonight, there was just so much to give that I felt a little overwhelming. To do my reviews, I do take notes, not heavy notes or anything, but this time I realized I'm having a hard time keeping up because it's literally so many promos in between matches, and you get to hear from so many people and so many things that are happening that it's kind of hard to follow with what's going on, because as soon as you just took in one piece of information, here comes another promo, here comes something else that's going on, and I feel like the faster pace is is pretty quick compared to what we've been getting with Collision since it started. I've been feeling like Collision has been more on a really cool pace, and this week and last week things have definitely gotten a little bit more faster. And also, we had quite a few people from ROH on this episode, and some people that we've never even seen on Collision on here too. So they were trying to make a lot of things happen here. Now, first match we had was Brian Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill. This was a great opener. However, with the way the match was going, I kept feeling like, okay, for some reason, it just seems like this is not going to be the last time we're going to see these guys in the ring. Now, Big Bill Boots is still bloody from his match with John Moxley from Dynamite. And I'm just like, you know what? Whether or not John Moxley is on the show, his blood is going to be on there regardless. So that was pretty interesting to see how bloody his boots was. And he was shoving that shit all up in Brian Danielson's face. It's absolutely wonderful. So this was a great match here. And one thing that I noticed here is that obviously Blackpool Combat Club are baby faces now. However, Claudio is still kind of heel with his story going on with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston obviously being the baby face in that situation. So it's a little strange to see him pretty much in between. Well, he's a baby face starting off the show, and then later on, he's a little bit more of a heel. I don't know. It's a little different. Now, we have a little scuffle outside the ring with Big Bill and Claudio, and for whatever reason, the referee is more focused on what's going on between the two non-legal men in the ring, outside the ring, rather than what's going on with the two guys who are legal guys in the ring. So while he's focusing on these two out there, here's Ricky Starks giving Brian Danielson a low blow to take advantage, and ends up picking up a win. And it kind of feels a little bit shocking at first, but now that Ricky Starks has been a heel and he has cheated on the other occasion, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Now, later on the show, Ricky Starks is a little upset that Brian Danielson is getting still some praise and glory with promos on the show. And he's like, you know what? Next week, you and I are going to have a Texas Death match. So show up and show out. So that's what we're going to get next week on Collision. Now we have the Young Bucks and Adam Page. They have accepted the match between the Mobile Embassy for the six-man tag championships, and that's going to be next week on Rampage. There's actually a 2-hour Rampage Grand Slam episode, so we're going to have another stack card on there as well. Now, after that, we do have a promo with Powerhouse Hobbs, and he is letting everyone know that no one on the damn roster is safe. But then Miro is like, you know what? Hobbs, you're a son of a bitch. You and I are going to meet again. And you know what? I don't mind that as long as it's not in the near future. So, I don't know what's going on with these two guys. We've just seen little promos of them since the pay-per-view. But I'm wondering, like, where are they going to go with these guys? So far, there is no real clear direction. Now, after that, we do have tag team action with FTR and the Iron Savages. Um, I've been saying good things about the Iron Savages. They have definitely improved, especially in ROH. They are definitely becoming more and more of a really great tag team. They have a match with FTR tonight for the AEW tag titles. However, here I felt like this was short yet effective. Not a squash match, maybe like 5 minutes or so. I was expecting a little bit more with this match, but I do think that what we've been seeing with the Iron Savages on Collision these past few weeks are kind of putting them on the map as a tag team in AEW and ROH as well. Now, during this match, we do have Aussie Open who are backstage watching the match, so you already know that they're having their eyes out for the tag team gold. Later on, they have some squash match, which is just, oh, I cannot believe they're wasting talent like Aussie Open on squash matches. That does nothing for them. Anyway, after their squash match later on in the night, they end up challenging FTR for the AEW tag titles at Wrestle Dream. So it is official. We're going to have FTR versus Aussie Open on October 1st. And I'm looking forward to see where that match goes. Now we have Lexi backstage with Keith Lee about to do an interview, but then Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty interrupts. Shane Taylor introduces himself and the new member of Shane Taylor Production, Lee Moriarty, just like how he did on ROH the other night. Now, last week, Keith Lee had a promo where he was telling the whole locker room to run. And here's Shane Taylor. He's like, bro, I saw your promo last week. You told everybody to run, but here I am stepping up to you. So what's up? So they're having a little stare down. Now, these two guys are no stranger to each other. The last time I remember seeing them in the ring was sometime last year. I want to say it was an ROH pay-per-view. It was a tag team match. This is when Swerve and Keith Lee were still in a tag team. They were going against Shane Taylor, and I can't remember who his partner was, but that was the last time I remember seeing them in the ring together. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two big dudes handle things out. And I know a lot of people have been saying that they should have a meat division in AEW with all the big dudes. That would be interesting to see how they end up putting a lot of these much bigger guys in the ring and how they do with each other. That'll be interesting to see. Now, up next, we do have Anthony Bowens versus John Silver, which was initially Evil Uno versus Anthony Bowens, and they changed it. They conjured up some kind of contract or whatever, and I guess the Trios champions, they signed it or whatever. So then when they all come to the ring, here comes John Silver is like, hey, y'all signed a contract, and on the contract it does say that the acclaimed members cannot be ringside, so y'all gotta get your asses to the back. So they end up going, and the crowd is upset, and they're chanting out bullshit because Daddy Oz and Max cannot be ringside. Now they do have a pretty decent match here, and I know people don't necessarily take the Dark Order seriously, but they are really talented wrestlers. For whatever reason, their characters have not necessarily sticked in a way that it should have, and it's like year 4 and they're still trying to go at it with the same damn characters, at least the 3 that are left. Anyway, John Silver have a really decent match with Anthony Bowens, and just when you thought that things were just going to go nice and smoothly, here comes Evil Uno getting involved and putting the pause on Anthony while the referee is blinded. And that helps them take the win. So now they have the title shot for the Trios title. So basically, if John Silver ended up taking the win for his team, he would win his his boys an opportunity for the Trios Gold. So we'll be seeing that match. I'm not sure exactly when, but either way, it was still a great match. Next, we have an old-fashioned Brooklyn promo from Eddie Kingston, and he is letting Claudio know that win or lose, this is it between us. I guess they're trying to squash this beef. Like whoever wins ended up getting both titles, and this whole thing gotta be over. And he lets Claudio know in a kind of too long promo that this whole thing between them is going to be over, and that motherfucker in New York, he's going to whoop your ass. And I believe him. And now I know a lot of people are probably going to be put off with all the yelling and cursing and the whole him being so emotionally mad and everything. But this is typical New York. So something like this, I've seen it a million times. Now, after that, we do have Orange Cassidy and Hook. Orange Cassidy asks Hook if he wants to tag, and Hook is like, yeah, these are two guys of very few words. Next, we have RJ City and Tony Storm. They had some recorded interview at some kind of mansion or something, and she's bothered by the lamps and bothered by the set and all this stuff. I don't know where they were going with this. I know they were trying to keep in character or whatever, but it fell flat for me. Now, up next, my second best match of the night, Andrade with Scorpio Sky. We do get a promo from Scorpio Sky before the match, and even in that promo, he is giving us some Spanish, a direct message to Andrade. And I'm just like, holy crap, Scorpio Sky, cute, check. Scorpio Sky, great wrestler, check. Oh, and he speaks Spanish, plus, plus, plus. Love it. Anyway, they have a really great match, and I am actually wanting both guys to win. Scorpio Sky, I think, has only done maybe one or two singles match since Collision has started. And you guys know he's been on the shelf for about a month or so with an injury. Not sure what the injury was, but throughout this match, they've been playing on an injury with, I want to say, his left leg. So that was something that was reoccurring throughout the match here. Both guys look really, really great here, but I was kind of thinking, Scorpio Sky, not to be biased here, he needs this win, especially after coming back from an injury. But like I said, sometimes losing is winning, and I do think here that despite Andrade taking the win with a figure eight, I do think Scorpio Sky looked really great here. So I'm curious to see where they're going to go with him. One of the things that I'm thinking here is that with them adding a boatload of people onto Collision these past 2 weeks, is that going to keep some people from shining? Those people that we've been seeing on Collision consistently prior to the whole CM Punk situation? Are these people going to get lost in the shuffle now that everyone else is crossing to the promised land onto Collision? I'm not sure. Now, after this match, we do have Bullet Club Gold come out, and Jay White introduces everyone to the crowd and to Andrade. Jay White is like, look, last week Bullet Club Gold had a match. Your ass was watching from backstage. Since you want to watch us, how about you get into the ring with the Switchblade? And I'm just like, holy crap, we're doing this. So now we're going to get Andrade versus Jay White. That's going to be next week on Collision. I thought they were going to go for the pay-per-view, but I guess not. Next, we have a video package of the friendship of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. They're showing us this to show why it's relevant that Don Callis is sending Takeshita to whoop Kota Ibushi's ass, so everybody could understand where they're going with this. Now, I didn't mind this, but it did feel a little bit long and kind of did not go with everything else that's going on. Kind of just felt randomly put on with everything else on the show. This could have been saved for like Dynamite or something. Now, between these two guys, I personally would love to see Ibushi and Takeshita having like a sit down interview or something. I know it's going to be in Japanese, and I know people are not too fond of reading subtitles or whatever. I've been watching Korean dramas since I was 15 years old. I am a pro at reading subtitles. Not everybody likes it though. However, at least it would be an exchange between the two guys, and even though we'll be able to see in words exactly what they're saying, we'll still be able to feel the emotions between these two guys, and it's better for them to have had some kind of some kind of meeting between the two of them rather than nothing at all before this pay-per-view. I'd rather take that than nothing. Now, after that, we do have the match with the Hardys and the Righteous. This was okay. This was to basically re-debut the Righteous, but this time in front of an AEW crowd. Yeah, when they beat the Hardys, the crowd was booing. And then the Righteous, they get on the mic and they're introducing themselves to everyone. We're the Righteous, we're the one who just beat your childhood heroes or whatever, and the crowd are booing them. This is the type of heat that you want to get as heels, so I can get behind this. Great effort on the Hardys or whatever, but I do wish this was a much stronger match for the Righteous. but it was all right. I also forgot to mention that Shibata came on with his phone and letting everyone know with Google Translate that he's going to be at Wrestle Dream. So I'm really excited about that. I'm curious to see who his opponent is going to be. Um, as far as ROH goes, I do know that there's somewhat of a story between him and Josh Woods. Josh Woods had a this amazing match with Shibata. Close to like 6 weeks ago or whatever. That was absolutely amazing. And since then, Josh Woods has definitely reformed himself as, a technical wrestler, the way he used to be before as a former pure champion. So, if anything, I don't know if we're going to get that or if we're going to get something completely different, but I'm still curious to see who his opponent's going to be at the pay-per-view. Now on to the main event. For the first time ever, we had the ladies main eventing on Collision, which was Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker for the TBS title. And another thing that I've noticed since CM Punk been gone, the main event once again has been less than 20 minutes. And one thing that I really liked about Collision was that we've been consistently seeing since the first day 20 plus minute when it comes to the main event. Now, it's not important for that to be the case every week, but that was something that I really appreciated because we've been seeing really short main events on Dynamite and definitely, I only want to talk about Rampage. So I thought that was something different and that made main events feel special. Either way, this was less than 20 minutes, less than 15 minutes for sure between these two. However, this was the best match of the night. You really felt at a lot of points here that Chris Statlander was going to lose. Um, Throughout the match, she is holding on to her knee. It just seems like it's bothering her here and there in the match. And Britt is coming off really strong here. So I kind of started feeling some type of way for her. And it really draws you an emotional level. Now, I've been saying that I don't really care too much for what Chris Statlander has been doing since she's been TBS title. But since she had the TBS title, but for the first time, I found myself wanting her to actually win the match because I really felt bad for her here because Britt was very strong here. Ultimately, when Britt hits the lockjaw, finally, I was like, oh, that's it. She's going to tap. And it looked like she was going to tap. And I kind of rolled over on my bed and I was like, fuck it, I already know what's gonna happen here. And then all of a sudden she counters out of that and ends up going for the pin. Both of Britt's shoulders are down, and for whatever reason, it just seems like Britt doesn't even notice that the referee is counting 1, 2, 3. Chris Statlander retains the title, and it really felt like out of blue that she ended up retaining because it really didn't seem like it was going to go that way. But this was a really great effort for both girls. This is a really great main event that I really enjoyed, and kudos for the girls for putting their all out there. After this match, while Chris Statlander is celebrating, we do have Julia Hart who's sitting in the crowd who's watching the match. So that was really interesting to see. It looks like Julia is ready to get in line. So Britt, get your ass to the back. Thanks for the good match, though. So, guys, I did enjoy Collision. However, I do feel like they tried to pack in a lot of stuff on this episode. Stuff that could definitely have been taken out and putting on Dynamite Grand Slam. I know it seems like a really stacked card for Wednesday, and also they're stacking it up for Dynamite. I mean, not Dynamite. Rampage as well, since it's going to be a 2-hour show. So I have high hopes for Grand Slam. I think we're going to see a lot of new things here that are going to change things a little bit in AEW, especially right before Wrestle Dream and also Full Gear. So this is going to be really interesting to see how things go. I really hope they kind of slow it down a little bit with Collision because this was a really fast-paced show. I think they got to take things down a little bit. But either way, I do still think that it's worth the watch. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back on a Wednesday with Dynamite Grand Slam.